Like,
Am I live? People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. First things first, people, good evening to everybody tuned in. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and of course, in some cases, good night. Hope everyone's enjoyed their weekend so far. Hope everyone had a good week last week and that everyone's looking forward to next week. You know, hopefully it's filled with, prosperity. Definitely where Arsenal's concerned, 3 points. But as I said, prosperity, good health, goals being reached, just positive things in you lot's lives, whatever stages you're at, people. Again, the main thing I urge you for nothing more is health, because obviously nothing can be achieved without health. If we don't have good health, we're dead, isn't it? It's literally that simple. So one love to everybody tuned in. I hope you're doing well and safe. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. It's been a good day for me. My team got 3 points in Sunday League, 2-0 win, clean sheet. We'll take that, I almost scored, I had one effort that skimmed the bar, and then obviously I tried to do the DG banger again. Let's just say this one was not quite the same movie. I'm giving Thomas Partey a run for his money in terms of shots off target, and I'm pretty sure I hit someone and their dog or something in that park as well. It weren't intentional, but yeah, madness nonetheless. As I said, I hope everyone's doing well and safe throughout this live stream. Obviously, in fact, first things first, at 6:30, people, head over to Twitch. I'm going to be, again, talking Arsenal, reviewing Everton, talking Man United, and covering any questions over on Twitch. I've got Mo Hader, obviously. If you want to catch that live, go on and whatnot, people. And obviously, make sure you get some talking points in to that, and as well as this, people, because, yeah, throughout this, we've got Everton tomorrow, people. Watch along where that's concerned as well. I can't lie, it's a bit scary. I've told you, look, with what's going on with the graphics. I might not even have graphics, but I'm on the case, man. I'm on the case trying to get a graphics designer to patent that. But nonetheless, Everton Arsenal watch along. You can see the information in the pin message at the end of this live stream. Take you to that. Make sure, even if you're not here, you're going to hit a like button and slap the reminders, people. I'll be live at some point tomorrow at 11:30, Twitch at 10 a.m. It's standard procedures, people. But as I was saying, Everton, Arsenal, any talking points that are currently going on where it's concerned or the internet, AUBAMEYANG, ARTETA riff allegedly. Apparently, ARTETA has demanded his player scores more goals and whatnot, people. As I said, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. What are you lot saying? Villa, Leicester gone 1-1. That's the one game today that's actually on TV. I see Fred scored an absolute sizzler of a goal where Manchester United are concerned. And I don't know what else has happened in football today, because I don't know why, but none of the games have wanted to be on TV. Apologies, people. My stream's got me. I am here. I haven't suddenly changed appearance. That is a chair. I was actually watching Stoke versus QPR. I see Charlie Austin missed the penalty. It was quite a mad game. Terrible penalty from the guy. But yeah, let's see what Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa is saying, because I'm late to the party and I've missed 2 goals. Apparently, Buendia's ended his goal drought. And as an Arsenal fan, let's get into that. Remember when I said on my live stream, people, that we're going to get to a point, yeah? Remember, like, a couple of weeks into the season's a lie, yeah? But do you remember there was a point where Martin Odegaard was doing quite well and no one was saying nothing about Maddison and Buendia? And I said, do you know how I know them two are not performing? Because of that very reason. Suddenly, Odegaard's taking a bit of a dip. Maddison seems to be able to find his feet. Buendia's obviously scored, people. Allegedly ended his goal drought. Is that the goal he scored? Someone clapped off the line. But yeah, you get the point in it, people. It's crazy. So yeah, man. And for me, against Everton, I want to see us score goals. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not naive. I'm not asking Arsenal. I would love it, but we, 4 or 5 and them things there. But I'm not gonna lie. That's a defense like United's that can't keep clean sheets. The one good thing, if anything, that you did against United was obviously scoring a couple, people, and ruining a potential clean sheet. Now, I'm going to hone back in on these points, but obviously Everton cannot buy a win. That can be dangerous, but that can be a positive to us. You look at the Liverpool game. We're not to Liverpool once again, but if you remember in the first couple of moments, we did a watch along. Seamus Coleman and Pickford, it's half a dozen of one, 6 in the other. They're shouting at each other and moving a bit mad. What does that tell you? There's no confidence in that back line. They can't get 3 points. They're conceding goals. Woe is me sort of thing. We need to capitalize on that. You see, if you go there and in them first 10 minutes, ironically, again, the lesson we need to learn is you need to play well for 90 minutes. But do you remember for 13 minutes up to 20 minutes, literally at Old Trafford, we're on them where they're in their half, we're playing decent football. We need that. I can't lie. You score a couple of goals in that moment, then it's flipped on its head. You know, when you don't take advantage and other teams grow, you know, look at Chelsea, how they lost to West Ham. You know, Everton's a tough team to play against. You know, again, Goodison Park, we let ourselves down last year. Again, I'm going to hone back on these points, but when I think of Everton, I think of the first and second balls. Again, pause. You know, you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you've got Richarlison, you've got Rondon. You know, with respect to definitely Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, they've got a bit more about them, but they're battering rams, they're physical units. They win the first, and then they're going to try and win the second battles. Both teams, well, we are decent on set pieces. We let ourselves down last season on set pieces. So that's an area of concern. You know, it goes without saying, ideal scenario, 3 points. That being said, you know, our games are not getting any easier. We've got West Ham, and I kind of want to focus on West Ham a bit later on in the stream, but we've got West Ham. You know, the games ain't getting any easier. You know, we should be beating Southend. Man said Southend. I wish we was playing Southend. We should be beating Southampton on Saturday, or this Saturday coming, people. But that's disrespectful. You can't say that. And me personally, home and away, I'm never confident about Southampton because we seem to mess around in them sort of fixtures there. So yeah, man, it is what it is. We're gonna focus on that, but yeah, Everton fans are moving mad. As I was saying, there's pressure on Rafa Benitez and all of these things. In fact, people, again, I always try and have some structure to these streams, but you know what? There's no point. We might as well talk about Everton versus Arsenal first out the back, people, because again, as I said, or as you lot know, there's pressure on them. They can't keep clean sheets. They're struggling to get 3 points. They're just not performing as a football club. And I hear it, Everton fans, I sympathize with you, but we cannot allow their form to turn around on Monday. You know, again, we need to get 3 points. The Premier League doesn't care that we've clawed our season back, that we're fifth, that I don't want to say doing the impossible because we've achieved nothing, but many people didn't expect us to be there, which on one hand I give you a lot of credit, but on the other hand it's a minimum sort of thing. And again, it's not me. You know, both teams are going to want 3 points. Not the world doesn't care about that. We lost to United. We dropped points again at Old Trafford. We dropped points at the Etihad. You know, we dropped points at Anfield. I'm being a bit harsh, of course. You know, Liverpool, I'm not really expecting you to win all of these fixtures. However, it's all about the performance. Now, Everton is not to the scale of these teams, respectfully, but it's another away test for me where we need to come out of it good. You know, again, in the same way I said they're fearful, and ideally we want to go over there early doors, shut them up, score early goals, get them nervous, as the examples have said. When you're so low on confidence and you're so low as a club, any little thing can give you inspiration. And obviously, I don't want to be the guy, but, you know, for as poor as Everton have been this season, remember when Townsend was, you know, kind of shut up Man United, Damari Gray's in decent form. You know, as I said, it's going to be a physical battle. As big as it is for the defenders, the midfield's going to have to put in a shift. The first and second battles undoubtedly are crucial and whatnot. And, you know, they've got Luca Dean, who's obviously running up and down the left wing, you know, from fullback. Coleman isn't quite as young as he used to be, but will still attempt to do that. They've got quality, definitely better than they're performing. And again, the crowd, you don't want the crowd to get on top of us. We kind of, for me anyways, we kind of seem to crumble when we've played these evening fixtures away from home. You know, you look at the Brighton fixtures, fair enough, you know, it is what it is. We got a point, but Brighton, we looked a bit nervous. Again, our team was a shambles at the start of the season for a variety of reasons. But to be fair, we crumbled at Brentford. So, you know, so again, away from home, particularly in games where if it's not necessarily a big team in stature, where you want to see a performance, let's be real, we've let ourselves down. You know, we played all right in moments against City and United. Ultimately, it didn't win either game, so it doesn't matter. Hit the like button. As I said, Brighton, you didn't win the game. We were lucky to get a point, and so on and so forth. So there's big tests. You need to, you know, get back to winning ways. We've seen United win today against Palace, I believe. You've obviously seen Spurs pick up points, so I believe they have, or I assume they have. So again, the table is going to go up and down, but what we need to do is control these variables, you know, get our confidence back. If you put in a shift against Everton, you know, that's a bit of insurance, you know, Everton, Southampton, and then I think it's West Ham after that. You need to get 6 points in them 2 games because West Ham, you know, it's a game we should be winning, a game we should be competing in and whatnot. But reality is, if it was talking about current form and what we're seeing from the Hammers in their performances against Liverpool and Chelsea, boy, I don't think too many people, beyond just being blindly optimistic, are going to bet on Arsenal Football Club. So it goes without saying, if you want Europe, you need to win. Simple as that. You know, it's as simple as that. First and second balls are vital. Again, where the lineup and all of them things there are concerned, it's a bit brazy. But again, if we just take a look at a couple of articles just to You know, apparently they've still got faith in Rafa Benitez, but the fans aren't happy. Now, whether the fans are going to do something about this is a completely different thing. But as you lot see here, angry Everton fans plan a walkout protest against the club's board in the 27th minute of their home clash with Arsenal on Monday as they use their long trophy drought to demand better amid an 8-game winless run. And again, they can't buy a win. They can't buy a clean sheet. It's brazy where they're concerned. Everton fans will stage a walkout. Now, will they actually do it? I don't know. But if that's the sort of talk, then again, there's pressure on Rafa Benitez. We saw against Liverpool, their fans made their feelings known. And again, even if the board want to retain faith in Rafa Benitez and things, kind of like with Emery, ultimately what costs you your job is bums on seats. When the bums on seats don't want to be there, then the decision's kind of made for you. But you know, where a position of weakness, like you can see, is also a position of strength. I know Ralph Rangnick walked into the United job and their thing was a bit different. But at the same time, you go into the United game, it was all, you know, Arsenal are a bit healthier and football matches are not won in the tabloids. They're won on a pitch. So, you know, for me, I just hope the boys just think about last year, because if you want to do better, you know, it's almost like an exam. It's almost like a driving test. You went to do your driving test in your, like if we've used the first year as an example, you went to do your driving test in your heart. You might have been ready, you might not have done your revision and done your practice and things. This time around, which is this year, learn from it, because set pieces, first half, I remember that game very vividly. It's one of the worst games for me of the season, because I remember specifically Yerry Mina and Michael Keane for about 45 minutes. They're just trying. I didn't know if it was them two or Perlo. They're spraying balls, you know, left, right, and center. We're not giving them anything to do. Switched off at set pieces. Again, it's a game you should be winning, but same way Everton probably fancy us. So again, you can't really read too much into that. As I said, our next 6 fixtures are not getting any easier. Everton away, Southampton at home, respectfully. And I don't think Arsenal right now are a team where I can sit there and say we're going to win this game or X, Y, Z. I believe you should be beating. Everton is not an easy game regardless of the form, but if you're serious, you need to win. You know, Southampton, you need to take 3 points. West, and you know, give yourself this 6-point cushion. You need to put in a performance against West Ham at home. Again, we know it's a big test. We know in terms of form, they'll move to us, probably score a lot more, but give yourself something. You know, again, we've got 3 away games this month, people. You know, Norwich isn't going to be easy. They're fighting for their life. You should be beating Carroll Road, you know. You should be beating them. Leeds are not doing what they were doing last year, but you need to win at Ellen Road. None of these games are easy. And if I'm honest with you, in my heart of hearts, you know, the only games that I can really say that I think, you know, we should be winning them all, really, you know, with the exception of West Ham in form, you know, because 3 of those teams are not really in the best of form, and, you know, Norwich are struggling. I expect to beat Southampton. I expect to beat Everton. Again, with the backdrop of last season, I expect to win that, because, again, you need to take advantage. And, you know, to a degree, with the exception of United going into the game, you know, we've been able to take advantage of the Watfords, of the, you know, Spurs at the time, when teams are kind of in woeful form. I expect 6 points. If you don't get 6 points, then, again, I don't want to sound dramatic and stuff, but you might as well kiss goodbye to Europe, car. The games ain't getting easier. And again, people, I don't want to jump the gun and look further, but what's the first fixture of next year? 3, 2, 1. It's Manchester City. So again, it's all about insurance, you know. Give yourself that 6 points insurance, you know. Carroll Road, they're fighting for their lives. If you're fighting for your lives or whatnot, it's fight or flight. You might see a side to you never knew you had inside you before. You might crumble or not. You'll never know until you're pushed into a corner. That's why you need to be wary of these sides. Ellen Road, you should be putting in a performance. So yeah, the games ain't getting any easier, people. They're not getting any easier. So we need to put in a shift. In terms of my lineup and all of that, you know, let's go on the tactics board in a sec, but I feel like I'm airing you lot. Advantage Arsenal from the 27th minute onwards. It's getting very busy upstairs. Tottenham 1, United 1. Would you sell Aubameyang in the summer? Probably not, but I would, you know, nothing more than being a squad player. Definitely where your form is. Appreciate you, Mr. Miyagi. I hope you're doing well and safe. Probably Iwobi will find his goal scoring boots, man. You know, it's a game, like I said, first and second balls, you know, are going to be vital. You know, Damari Gray's playing well. It's written in the script Townsend scores against us, you know, ex-Spurs, man, and all of that jazz. You know, again, we're going to have to... I actually want to... I don't think we're going to do it, but I would love to, in an ideal world, I'm seeing a coordinated press their fullbacks. But what doesn't give me confidence is what happens if our strikers press and it goes into the middle, because that's the one area you probably look at and say it's a bit even. They got Allen who can snap at the heels and things like that. Don't know what going for Sigurdsson. He's probably did the mad thing, but, you know, fire for them, boy. But anyways, people, the only thing left kind of from that initial point would be the lineup. So, you know, Everton have played a bunch of formations. If we go on the last kind of 2-ish games, you know, they're known to do you can see a 4-4-2 or a 4-1-4-1, people. So 4-4-1-1, apologies, people. So yeah, it all depends. And obviously for me, you've got to be wary. Damari Gray and Townsend are playing quite well. They, you know, realistically, they're not the best players in the Premier League, but as a fullback, you wouldn't want to play against them. You know, again, Damari Gray had a couple of cute little tricks and turns, even though they lost and got battered really against Trent, against Fabinho and these players. If you can bop them and do skillers against them, respectfully, Arsenal, we need to be wary of that. You know, Townsend, you give him space, he's going to shoot. They're probably the two most confident players within that team. You know, Pickford, again, these are probably the games, you know, the England gaffer's looking at, so he'll probably morph. But again, he's known for some suspect stuff. His kicking is suspect. Probably turns elite. You know, he's just going to bang it into these channels, people, straight away. It's just channel FC. So again, the first and second balls. And again, you know, assuming they go with a 4-4-2, you could see Dominic Calvert-Lewin in there. You could see Rondon. You could see Richarlison. You could see, you know, they do a thing like that. I don't know, people. You know, I think they go with a 4-4-2. But then again, would they do that against our midfield? I'm not too sure. You know, and obviously they've done things as such as this. You've seen Townsend and Damari Gray playing the whole. You might see something like that. You know, they probably have to gamble and have a creative man, but they could probably bat and, you know, put the hatchets down and whatnot. Now, I expect them to be a tough outfit to break down on the night, but realistically, it's a game Arsenal should be winning and should be scoring a couple of goals. If anything less than that, then it's not really serious, is it? Let's be completely honest with ourselves. What's going on here? So it is what it is where that's concerned, people. Make sure you're hitting the like button. 29 likes so far. So again, the only thing to move away from that would be my lineup now. Again, the biggest questions are, pardon me, clearly Martin Odegaard. Would you drop AUBAMEYANG? Who else is there? Kieran Tierney, does he come in? What's the formation? You know, there's many different questions. Where's Saka at? Because obviously he came off the bench and that was clearly the only minutes. You know, do you drop Thomas Partey? There's a few questions, people. Get some answers in if you know, whatever, however you're feeling in relation to that game. And I'm torn in two minds. Obviously, we'll get into it, but Xhaka's back in full training, but based on the last game, there isn't really a midfielder that you'd be screaming and shouting. On one hand, I feel Lokonga should come back in. On one hand, I feel, you know, people are giving Partey a bad rep. He should play again. On another hand, I feel, you know, if it's El Nene and Lokonga, no one can complain. If it's El Nene and Partey again, can't really complain. But we need performances. Now, if I was looking at the lineup again, let me go with what I think of at the start, people. Obviously, let's put goalkeeper. You know, Ramsdale picks himself, folks. You know, as usual, you know, at least we're 3 of these 4, you know, including the keeper. At least we're 4 of the 5 backroom staff are concerned on this pitch. They pick themselves. Obviously, you got Ramsdale there. You know, Ben White, who low-key I feel has been playing quite well. Don't let me down, and it's a big day for you, saying that you've just played against Cristiano Ronaldo and against Sadio Mane and that. And don't get it twisted. You know, I made him eat grass. Ronaldo did as well. I was saying it from then. I actually feel he played quite well in them games. And I feel in the last 3 Premier League games where Ben White's concerned, I'm starting to see a bit more from him. And he's just doing a bit extra than he was doing previously. So White picks himself. Obviously, the best centre-half also picks himself at our club in Gabriel. You know, Tomiyasu, you know, he picks himself and he doesn't have any competition. Now, where it's Tierney and Tavares, I don't think Tavares did terrible against United. You know. But for me, again, it's Kieran Tierney FC. Respectfully, my biggest decision so far, I'm putting Tierney in the lineup. Obviously, you're getting your opportunity, take it. Because if you don't, you might not get another one. You know, there's not too many games in our calendar. We ain't got the luxury of Europe. Midfield, and obviously, I'd kind of revert back to, I know we probably will go with the 4-4-2 thing again. But for me, I would just like to see a 4-2-3-1, back to basics. You know, again, you know, provided everybody's fit. I'm bugging out, people say. Bugging out. Obviously, we're not going to be this wide on the pitch. But I personally, you know, I think I can go ahead and jump the queue a bit. I feel, you know, Saka is fit for me. Saka plays. You know, Martinelli is fit. I think he's earned a starting spot on the left-hand side. I kind of want to see Martinelli and Saka switching, but I can't expect too much of that so early on. They ain't played together, and I think there's a lot of question marks where too tough. But of this season. But I think there's a lot of questions about our shot creativity, our chance creation rates, and all of them sort of sister and brother stats just around our creation and just scoring goals. Goals win games at the end of the day. I can't really say we're performing that well. I don't think anyone's world class, and obviously a lot of these players have questions to answer because, you know, there's all question marks surrounding them. But I just feel similar to last season. Last season was a bit more exaggerated because we had Willian, but not really any single attacking player is excelling. Smith Rowe excluding probably, and probably some of that's got to be down to the attacking coaching or lack of, or maybe not doing it right. But yeah, at the same time, I feel we've got to be a bit serious. Again, anyone that's played football, you know, Martinelli, Saka, Aubameyang, Pepe, they're, you know, all of these guys, they should be able to create chances, and it shouldn't be an easy day at the office to defend against these players. A part of me feels maybe if they were at different clubs or a different gaffer was here or Arteta was doing things a different way, we might get more of a tune. Personally, I also feel until we address this midfield with a competent number 8 that can do what we want Xhaka to do to a greater level without the bad things Xhaka carries, we're not going to get anywhere, really and truly. And to be fair, Arteta needs to show he can coach all of that. But I think Martinelli and Saka pick themselves, provided they're fit people. I'm throwing them in there. I also feel, again, you know, Odegaard, shout out to you. And you could go with Odegaard next to Partey, but if that was something. But I just feel the young lads have all earned their spot. Martinelli, you've got to take your chances. Everyone in their nan used to be, oh, he can't play on the right, you know. He did quite well against United. So I think he's earned a role, probably on the left-hand side. I know Arteta talks about Tierney and Martinelli indirectly, maybe not having the best of partnerships. So maybe Saka could go over there. But yeah, and Smith Rowe's been one of our best players, if not the best. Saka makes me the most comfortable on this right-hand side. You know, I've got to be real. You lot got to be real. Again, Aubameyang, we've tried playing you. You know, we've seen you score and we thought it was happening. I am not turning on Aubameyang. It's still Aubameyang FC. I hope you pick up form. But at the end of the day, we ain't got time to carry passengers. You might be our captain. You're a passenger at this moment in time. And sometimes being a captain is about, you can't always be in the firing line. And I don't think he's led. I don't have to question his integrity, but in terms of white and black, you scoring goals, I don't think you've been scoring goals. Away from scoring goals, the least you could do is just make your presence known. Seen a lack of that. So, you know, obviously Aubameyang's the better striker than Lacazette if you look at scoring goals. But if Aubameyang and Lacazette, neither player is really the most prolific, it's highlighted with Aubameyang's form right now, you know, at this moment in time. What if they both don't score too many goals and we struggle? Who's the better player? It's Lacazette. At least you got the Saka and you got the Smith Rowe. You know, Lacazette's got a bit more to his game. He can do the hold up man thing. He can drop deep and all of these sort of things. You can probably overcompensate with obviously Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and obviously Bukayo Saka running in behind where Lacazette can't. Obviously, Laka likes to drop deep. He's not the quickest. Probably got a yard or two slower, I would say, since he's come to Arsenal. He's not going to be able to run in behind. But I think Lacazette is the better option for the team, and at least until Aubameyang, apologies, finds himself. I hope he does. You know, unpopular opinion. I think you can still stand by the guy, but we haven't got time. You know, when it was Smith Rowe and Saka ain't been amazing all season. You know, even with Saka, there's debate. Can other people get chances? No one fell any sort of way. Martinelli took his chance against United, but a couple of us that kept it true, he didn't against Leeds. You know. Couple of people didn't take their chances and were dropped. You know, Leno, I don't think he played that bad when he was dropped against City, but he was part of a team that was shipping goals. Ramsdale got his chance, he grabbed onto it. Tavares took Tierney's spot. Aubameyang can be no different. Hopefully you get back and you find yourself again, but until that's obviously the case, it's a myth, really and truly. Like we can't carry anyone. We're carrying Aubameyang at this moment in time. So for me, Lacazette picks himself. And as I said, crucially, I think we can overcompensate with Smith Rowe's ability to run behind, and Saka's ability to run in behind, and Martinelli's ability to run in behind. And obviously, you know, it gives you good options when it comes to pressing as well. Obviously, you want them to press a bit closer, slightly closer together. Lacazette's there. Smith Rowe pushes further up the field. And again, you know, that gives us stuff. The problem, obviously, is if Everton clear it, the midfield. But I think that's definitely where, you know, I don't think Aubameyang should play. I think Pepe can count himself hard done by, and you know, and it probably tells you everything where the 70 million man probably is right now. If Martinelli can't really buy a game, and he's coming on before my man, really. But it's a squad game, and we need to get points on the board, innit? We need to pick the best team. So the only thing really is the midfield now. Pardon me. Elneny was probably our best midfielder on the pitch, so I can't really say he should not play at Goodison Park, really and truly. Probably does, you know. I gave, I can't lie, Partey. I think people took it far, but it's maybe last chance saloon. If you don't put in a standout performance, I don't think you're gonna get dropped. But I still won't call for you to be dropped because no one else. But I can't disagree. Aubameyang, it was last chance saloon against United. You kind of hope your captain can do a thing and make yourself a hero. It never happened, didn't it? Really and truly. Again, even the chance that was allegedly offside with VAR, if you put that in the back of the net, like with Smith Rowe. It's if Smith Rowe is completely different, but you put it in the back of the net, you have that debate after. All it takes is, who knows? In fact, he wasn't playing, but by his foot is onside. He's playing Aubameyang there. The game changes, So Aubameyang's got to get dropped. Partey, I need a standout performance because I think people are doing too much based on the United game, but. Yeah, man, for Smith Rowe's look like the Real Madrid man when it comes to him versus Odegaard. Saka looks like the 70-odd million pound man when it comes to him or Pepe, and to be fair, they all look like better strikers than Aubameyang at this moment in time. The senior players are kind of letting us down. El Nene, you probably should play again, but I'm going to probably go for Sambi Lokonga. Maybe there's a reluctance to play him away from home. I feel he's kind of found it tough away from home of recent. You don't get a million touches like at the Emirates, but there's that. A part of me actually does want to bring in El Nene just because I actually feel, considering going into that game, he played 59 minutes of Premier League football within his capabilities. I couldn't ask anything more from El Nene, if that makes sense. I think a lot of people played within themselves. I don't think El Nene did, and I'm not the biggest fan of El Nene at all. I don't think players like that can take the club forward, even in a squad capacity. Really and truly, for the odd 5 games a calendar year that you might put in. A part of me feels it should probably be El Nene and Partey. A part of me feels Partey doesn't have a leg to stand on. Part of me is actually wary about bringing Lokonga into this team, people. So you can see, a lot of different worlds. Odegaard isn't actually a bad finisher, needs to get into better positions and eat some hard food still. DG, do you rate Jonathan David? I think we need a player of Calvert-Lewin stature, as Balogun offers everything that Jan David does. I mean, hopefully he could. But yeah, Jonathan David has been putting in performances. He wouldn't be at the top of my list, personally. Normal back 5, but Kieran Tierney, Partey, Xhaka, Nuno, Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli. I don't know how fit Xhaka is. I know he's in full training, but is he ready to start a game and play 90 minutes? I know he's been on the bike quite a lot and he's been in Dubai, but he ain't played football for a matter of months now. I don't doubt his mentality, but you get the point. Personally, dropping Aubameyang also, it's Kieran Tierney's time, and this seems like a good game for Partey's monthly one. Good game, very harsh. Disagree with Smith Rowe there. I think he needs a rest. I mean, we need 3 points. I mean, I'm not being funny. We played on Thursday. We played on Saturday. You had Thursday evening to go to your bed. You had the recovery session on Friday. You probably trained yesterday. We'll probably train today / traveling, and we'll probably train early in the morning. I mean, what's the basis of rest? I don't disagree. I'm just asking a question. What's the basis of rest? I do understand when young players are playing, and I'm not being funny. And I do agree. Generally, we need to rest players and things, but we haven't got that much fluidity in the team. We're not blessed with City's depth where they can rest Foden when he needs to or doesn't need to, and use it. You all know the options they have. If he's our number 10 and we need 3 points and we're trying to do this thing, so he's an England international. He's our number 10 now. He's one of our best players. He makes us stronger on the team sheet. I do think we overplay Saka and there's logic to rest in Smith Rowe, but we need 3 points. We got 2 games next week. Surely he's stronger with us being there. Now I share your opinion generally with him being rested. I'm just purely talking going into this game. Where does rest come into it, really? But I'd agree, you've got Odegaard. That was the whole point of bringing in these guys so they can be used with each other sometimes, or one person steps up, and that's what you want to see. Jacob Ramsey scored for Aston Villa, I believe, just before half-time. Leicester getting shagged. But yeah, man. Nuno for Laka, then swap with Gabby. Big up yourself. Sambi switches off, but overall, I've been quite happy with some of his defensive stats. At least if Laka doesn't score, he can be a passion merchant. True. Aubameyang does give you the pace, but I mean, it's just for me. Sometimes a striker's not necessarily getting goals, but you can see their influence. And sometimes Aubameyang actually hasn't scored this season. Kasper Schmeichel, you're even mad that sorry, people. Kasper Schmeichel absolutely fumbled that one, unlike him, But But yeah, man, obviously, sometimes I feel Aubameyang's worked well and not scored. If you're not, I don't feel you're offering something. The least you can do is offer something. I'm not saying he doesn't try, but he's not offering nothing. So, yeah, man. Lacazette, Martinelli, Saka, and then you know Aubameyang. There's always the option of Aubameyang off the bench. And to be fair with you, you know, allegedly if Aubameyang's game's based on pace, the last thing you want to do if you're in a member of the back line is in the 60th minute or so, or it was second half in general, see fresh Aubameyang come on. You know, imagine you could, you know, Martinelli. You know, these young players, they do need to rest, but they, you know, it's very hard to play 90 minutes week in, week out and do well. Martinelli, if he gasses out, you've got the option of Aubameyang or, you know, the forgotten man Pepe, you know. Especially when we close out games, I do think the young player standards drops. Like, to be fair to Magic Man, you know, Smith Rowe did look knackered in that second half against United. Saka, for me, if I'm real with you, I'm a big fan of Saka. I think his standards drop a lot when he's tired. That's a big part of game management. When your legs begin to give way, stay in discipline. You know, you've got to be able to do it. And to be fair with you, you know, there is a lot of young players on that field in general. We've got an average age of 23. And for me, what I'm betting on is just the fact of, you know, where Martinelli's concerned, barely got opportunities to play. Here's one, keep playing well. Lacazette, you know, on the best of days, if you do start, Arteta, I feel, don't want to start you. And, you know, it's in your best interest if you and the club clearly have come to an agreement that you're not staying, you know, to play well, put in the shift. You know, Aubameyang's going through the motions, whether he's feeling sorry for himself, whether he's trying, you know, we can't quite find a reason for this form. Lacazette, come in. Saka, let's get back to scoring ways. You scored in your last start. Can you do it again? Smith Rowe, it's been a great, you know, played for England, scored for England, doing well for us. Number 10, you know, I'm being a bit generous, but scored from outside the area with his weaker peg at Old Trafford. Again, doing a lot. The Ramsey goal hasn't stood, by the way, people. Partey, I need you to put in a performance. You know, Partey himself, came out and said, I know I need to do my best. So you've got an option. You've got an option to do that. Gabriel, Ben White, Ramsdale, keep doing what you're doing. The same goes for Tomiyasu, who I feel Sancho had a good game. I feel Tomiyasu had a good game. It was a good battle between the winger and the right back when we played in midweek, people. You know, there weren't too many times Sancho could take him down the line and try beat him 1v1. So very elegantly and smartly, Sancho played the ball inside, and at least 2 of their United goals came from that. And I feel that's where people need to help Tomiyasu out, people. Again, Tomiyasu is spot on 1v1. You can't really move to him. You know, he wins his headers. You can't really move to him 1v1. He can defend. But Tomiyasu isn't you know, as amazing as he is, he's human. If there's runners off the ball, which again, it's not to scale, kind of was in the build up to Fred's penalty, and actually where Fred got on the ball and set up Bruno Fernandes, people need to watch their runners. Now, Partey's the nearest one. Midfielders watch their runners, because if we go back to the last game on Thursday, it's easier said than done, and it's very difficult. But Ronaldo's first goal has come because he's not being picked up. In fact, Rashford's not being picked up. You know, as much as it was, again, pretend this was, in fact, no, Smith Rowe can go there. You know, as much as Smith Rowe and Tavares kind of messed it up, people, you know, a midfielder could have read the situation and either got over there or covered. But at the same time, Ronaldo, when it's gone out to Rashford, people, Ronaldo's game's based on movement. He's just ran, you know, not to scale, but he's just ran and scored. You know, Bruno Fernandes not being picked up, Fred not being picked up. You know, Ronaldo's second half not being picked up. There was a couple of balls that whistled across our area that obviously came to no avail. You can't afford to do that. You know, you can't afford to do that. If you do that, you're playing a dangerous game. But yeah, Tomiyasu's quite well. But again, if balls are played inside, people need to help the man out. And I don't think that's always been the case. So yeah, putting everyone back, I would say that would be my lineup. What I would go with. And I expect, I do remove this. Yeah, man, remove that. Hey, ref, there's 2 balls on the pitch. Just remove that. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Don't forget, people, at 6:30 over on Twitch, I'm going to be previewing the game and talking Arsenal with Mo. So, yeah, make sure you're there and you've got any talking points for this stream and obviously there. And as usual, one love to you lot tuned in. Tomorrow, as you know, it's watch along business. So, yeah, I think they're going to go 2 strikers, man. So, I think, you know, I just because if I was Everton, potentially, I would. You know, 2 strikers. You get your Richarlison, your Dominic Calvert-Lewin, your Rondons. You win your first and seconds. If I was them, you might look to get a 10 in there in that regards, people. But I probably expect to see a 4-4-2. Or maybe 3 at the back. You know, they could even go 3 at the back, 3-5-2. You know, how many times, I don't know if Everton have done that, but if you're leaking goals, that could be something to consider. We, you know, 3 at the back came off us, conceding hella goals. Chelsea did it, you know. You're not going to do 3 at the... Very few managers, and I know Tuchel does, you know, and he's the exception. Very few managers do 3 at the back because they have good defenders and they just want to play it respectfully. Just put you in the same colour. In fact, Kit Clash. I expect to see them with a 4-4-2 be quite narrow. Get Damari Gray and obviously Townsend in. You know, you go with your Allen and Decore in there. Could make it a 3-man midfield. They might go with 1 striker, but I think they'll go with Richarlison and Rondon second. You know, Decore could be that runner, you know, getting on the first and seconds. As you know, Decore is capable of some magic moments. They do have dangerous fullbacks, really, if they want it. But as I said, can we press them high early? You know, can we press them high early? Can we make it uncomfortable? Can we take the lead early? As you lot know, Tierney, can you get up there? Lokonga, make sure you're there. You know, make them go back. Again, they're not confident. They're not confident. I don't know if they're going to come out and on the front foot and try to dominate things. Neither, you know, to be fair, if whoever's going to do that, you would probably try it against Arsenal. That's the territory we've got to kind of live in. But are they going to have 2 banks of 4? Respect us. Be quite nervous, you know, again. And if they do that, can we take advantage? Again, this pitch is quite small, but you could probably imagine you've got your Partey, you've got your Lokongas, you've got your Tierneys forward. You know, you've got Gabriel and Ben White high line. You've got Tomiyasu, a bit of insurance. Tomiyasu, I'm going to need overlaps, not really the underlap. That's not going to cut it, you know. We need we need movement. And I think that team I've gone with there provides you with such, man. You know, it's going to be a big test of character. We're going to have to, you know, weather the storm. There's going to be moments away from home. As you always see, they're on top of us. There's heart and mouth moments. Maybe Ramsdale has to do something. I don't know if we'll pick up a clean sheet, but again, like with United, we need to score, man. Start Pepe ahead of Saka. Well, he's been bleeding for a start, so maybe that could be something, but I don't think that's what we're going to see, really. I think I'd go with the Haaland boys personally. It all depends on Saka's fitness, though. Everton will be a big test of character, and that's not an area we have excelled in when required. They need to man up. Keepers are so protected in the modern day. It's ridiculous. Trust. That goal was disallowed for absolutely no reason. Nonetheless, it was. Run up the likes if you haven't already, people. So, yeah, where my preview's concerned, I think that's what we've got to say, people. I actually want to see what MIKEL Arteta has had to say in his press conference. You know, I think he's spoke about AUBAMEYANG. He's spoken about Xhaka's fitness levels and all of those sort of things. So I want to see these things. MIKEL Arteta press conference. Everton are a poor side. We must be taking 3 points. I mean, a bit harsh on them, but yeah, considering our fixture list, if you was looking at Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Leeds United and Norwich all in the league, that's where you need to get your points, really and truly. Obviously, we've got Sunderland at home as well. We've got 3 away tests this month. You got, and if you want to have a decent season, you got to prove you can go Ellen Road, you can go Goodison, you can welcome informed sides where West Ham's concerned, and all of these sort of teams, and put in good shifts. You know, again, I'll get into it, but there's no such for me. I don't think there's you know, no free hits in football and all of that sort of jazz. There is obviously, I see the logic in it, but yeah, man, it don't really make sense for me if I'm completely honest. So, you know, what has MIKEL Arteta said, man? What has MIKEL Arteta said? As you can see here, make sure we're hitting the like button and setting our reminders, people. Arteta on Everton, AUBAMEYANG transfers and more. Let's see. Arsenal boss MIKEL Arteta faced the media at a slightly unusual time of Saturday afternoon as he prepared our game against Everton. Our manager discussed the latest team news, Smith Rowe, AUBAMEYANG and more. On Smith Rowe's fitness, he had some discomfort during the game and we decided to take him off. He's been evolving well over the last few days, so we have to wait until tomorrow to see how he is. So obviously, if Smith Rowe misses out, then I would probably bring in Odegaard. And, you know, if Saka can't play, I mean, the easiest thing would probably be Pepe. But I see him doing, you know, I see him... If Saka can't play, I think he goes AUBAMEYANG, Lacazette and Martinelli off the right-hand side, personally. But you never know. He could just... go with what he does and get Smith Rowe and Odegaard in the team that way. So yeah, on Granit Xhaka, who we wish him continued fitness, health, and all of those sort of things on his recovery. He's progressing well. He's doing all the right things and he's feeling better, but no more news on that. It's very positive because the evolution he is doing is great. He's partially training with the team and he's heading in the right direction. So yeah, Xhaka he's making good progress. He's not ready to start anytime soon. On the mood after the defeat at Old Trafford, the mood after the game was that we were extremely disappointed because we threw the game away, and I think we actually should have taken more out of that game. It was very pleasing for periods because the performance that you were able to put in against that team was very positive, but you need to know how to win those matches when you are as dominant as we were in periods against them. On our record against the Big Six, against them, you have to put the performance into a win, and that's the difference. And it's been, our record could only be described as shambolic. We had the performance, but not the points. You only get points. Performance don't matter. No one's going to talk about, we didn't get 3 points for that performance. Again, Leeds, I keep using this example. Leeds played very well against Spurs. They didn't take 3 points. Newcastle put in a shift against Spurs at their place when I think the manager, the new owners got announced, didn't get the points. You don't get points for playing well. You don't get points for playing well and focusing for 13 minutes against United. It's a 90-minute game, and I think our record is there. We can't always lose these games and then look to find excuses. That's the level we aspire to be at. So look at our level now and look at the roads that we need to go down. And clearly we need to learn to put teams to bed, to stop giving them little inklings into the game, to stop making childish mistakes, to improve game management. Everyone needs to know at times when to do things, because it seems like we either play with a handbrake or, we're in the highest gear of the car and the car is going as fast as it possibly can. The engine is roaring. We need to know when to find that in between. Like for me personally, if you look at the times of the last goals we've conceded against Liverpool and United, away from how good the players were and all of those things, against Liverpool and United away from home, like Everton's going to be, we conceded just before half time. Against United, a couple of minutes really and truly into the second half, 20 minutes before the end of the game, after getting it back to 2-2. Yes, it was an individual mistake, but this is part of the problem. Certain players in our team make more mistakes than others, but have you not noticed throughout the whole season, there's been different people. So everybody makes mistakes. Mistakes are ridden. This week, obviously, against Liverpool, Tavares was the villain. Against United, it was whoever. Against Brentford, against Chelsea, against City, all the narratives are completely different. The problem is, we have that in our side, and that's what you're kind of going to get with a young team. But again, we're old enough to learn from mistakes. On AUBAMEYANG's goal scoring form, you're always concerned when your main striker isn't scoring goals, but he's trying his hardest. Sometimes trying the hardest isn't the best, man. We all tried very hard to be professional footballers. Not all of us got to do it, innit? He's very much aware of how much we need him as a team to score goals, and at the moment, they're not coming. But the rest of the things we're asking to do is trying his best. Can someone else get a look in and try their best? On the January transfer window, I think we have to focus on the players we have, try to make them better and take more chances when we're doing, because we need more margins in games to win games. And that's what we have to do without losing our solidarity defensively, which we have been good at, and try to add more goals to the team. On Everton's recent form, there are a lot of teams that are going through that, because this league has become the most competitive, that the moment you lose a game or two, the pressure is coming for everyone. It is no different there. Obviously, it's a very special place to go back there, because I had some amazing years there. So I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, you should want to be a villain there. On how tough it will be at Goodison Park, people, a team that wants to put things right and win. And on Monday night at Goodison, I know what I'm going to expect under the lights with the fans. They have. So it will be a tough game. On whether Xhaka could return on Monday this week, he's progressed again to a different level, and tomorrow we'll assess how he is, have a conversation with him, and decide when is the best moment to give him some exposure in games. Now, I mean, we've got to save him from himself. I do think, contrary to what fans might say, I do think the players care. I do think they'll put their self at risk, but we do have to save a player from themselves. Whatever you say about Xhaka, I don't doubt his mentality and him wanting to play. Sometimes that might not be the right thing. Like, he might just want to push himself. And I think last season we did that with Partey unnecessarily. Worst case scenario, and again, I don't advocate this, we lose a game without Xhaka. We can't lose a war without him. And I've said I don't think Xhaka should be first choice. I think we need to buy someone. But what I mean by the war is, if you get him injured again and you aggravate it, because we're getting into that techie time where the January games are coming, the January's coming up and people are going off to AFCON and things. Games are coming thick and fast, and injuries are going to become a part and parcel. He hasn't denied it. So, my guess is Xhaka will be on the bench personally. I don't know if Xhaka is going to start, especially away at Goodison Park against a team that needs to win. I don't know. I think if Xhaka gives him his honest word, then Arteta will seriously consider it, though. On how much of a boost his return will be, yes, it will be, and we miss him. He's one of our leaders, one of the senior players who adds something very valuable to the team, and hopefully we can have him back soon. On what he meant when he said he wanted more from the senior players, what I said is that the senior players are the ones who have to lead, and the younger ones are the ones who have to follow. We need that balance in performances on the pitch and as well off the field. We are getting that balance right, and we have to continue not to rely too much on the rest. And this team, it's not two teams that are split. We need that balance and to manage those moments. 1 second, people. I can't lie. It's time to put a little pillow where my chair is. You know, I've been playing football today. Back is sore, people. Pause. So we need to make sure that's all certain, people. Get a bit of comfort. So yeah, feeling a lot better with that. You know, on how he'll manage that. First of all, keep demanding the best from everyone. He went down all the way, people. He said we are getting that balance right, and we have to continue not to rely too much on the rest. And this is a team. It's not two teams. It's not two teams that are split. We need that balance and to manage those moments. On how he can manage that. First of all, keep demanding the best from everyone and ask them for things they know they can do and they can do well and do well consistently. That's what I try to do all the time. On whether he could help Yaya Toure with his coaching badges. I mean, Yaya allegedly was training at Spurs, doing some coaching at Spurs. He has my number as we spent some years together. He's a player I appreciate a lot, so he can call me and ask the question. He certainly has the experience and expertise and has won a lot in the game to add value to the game for sure. So that's what our boss, MIKEL Arteta, has had to say, people. Unfortunately, under 18s got brushed aside. But yeah. You know, so he knows how tough it's going to be. We've spoken about Smith Rowe. Where is that article? Is it here? I think it's here, people. So yeah, looking at this, apparently Mikel Arteta has insisted there's no rift between Arsenal captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We know he's struggling for goals. He's only scored 4, and he's been looking even more worse than a shadow of his former self. You know, I mean, respectfully, Aubameyang, you know, last season you somehow managed to look a bit worse. I can't lie, just generally throughout the game. And I feel it for you mentally. You know, you must, I do think you're working hard, you're trying, but it's not clicking. And, you know, this ain't the try and help Aubameyang show, find his way back. I want my talisman to get back to goal scoring ways. But at the end of the day, this ain't Disney Channel. You know, right now it's looking like a nightmare. Probably needs to come out the team, and somebody else step up and see what could be done. And obviously between now and the end of the season, probably more so end of the season, because I don't think we'll sign one in January. A new number 9 needs to step in, people. Scrolling all the way down, he said, I can guarantee you there is not a rift. You have to respect their opinion on reinsurers. But what I can tell you is I have a relationship I want with him. When I make decisions with 15, 20, 30 minutes left or in the lineup at the start, it is done with one intention, and that is to get the best out of the team. You know, and I mean, this is a man who benched him against Spurs. That is the last word I would use with my players, because if that's humiliation, imagine what it's like for the ones left out of the team. And he went, well, we already know, people. You know, he said he's trying his best. As I said, trying your best isn't enough sometimes, people. So that's what he said about, you know, Aubameyang and Co. Now it's Aubameyang beef. So yeah, man, that's that. 48-30. So yeah, man, that's that, really and truly. What more can you say on that? We need 3 points, nothing more, nothing less. What are you lot saying? Last season was mostly defensive errors and shooting ourselves in the foot. This season's main issue is the lack of creativity. Unpopular opinion, I think both have been a severe problem, and it's literally a different season, same toilet in that regard. Yeah, we have improved defensively. Obviously, there's been a more emphasis. We look better in both ends, set piece wise. You know, the players that have been brought in. But unpopular opinion, I still think, with that being said, we're in the same territory where we was, in that we really can't create goals, much like last season. And, you know, with the exception of what I've just said, we're still the standard of the goals that we're conceding are still very cheap. They're thrown away. They're giving it to the other teams. And, you know, it's for me as well. It's either yeah, the individual mistakes are one thing, but sometimes it's individual mistakes, but there's sequences where other people maybe could have helped to rectify it, whether it was their mistake necessarily or not. And again, that comes down to game management and all of those sort of things. So it is what it is. We've still not hit 100 likes. We're at 70. If you have not hit that like button, then what are you doing, people? Do you know how harsh that is? Come on, man. You know how knackered I was over football. I'd rather deal with napping right now. I'm here with you guys. You start Tini or Tavares. Personally, I'm bringing Tini back in, but I don't feel Tavares deserves to be dropped. All right, listen, our defense has a long way to go because Ramsdale's still man of the match 9 times out of 10, and I feel, I feel we're closer to attacking with our backline than we are to defending with our front. And what I mean by that is our pressing still isn't to the levels, but I do think we kind of have it under lock playing out from the back with the back five. But once it goes into midfield, not too much plan behind it. Obviously, on occasion, we've put together some nice moves actually against United and Liverpool that came to no avail. Crazy. DG, check Obina's Twitter has the stats of Aubameyang's minutes per goals. Again, this is can't carry passengers, Love for Aubameyang, heart bleeds for him, but again, minutes per goals. And obviously I'm not going to say he's cost us games, but in the same way, not keeping clean sheets has cost us games. These goals that Aubameyang typically has, sometimes you nick draws, you nick wins and whatnot, and that's all it is. Nice moves, hype, man. That's all it is. It's nice moves, but that don't get you goals, that don't get you 3 points. And again, for me, what jars me at Arsenal, and yes, no more staff is needed, better players are needed. I just feel I might be wrong, but just my opinion, we're just always like we might not do nothing for 90 minutes. We might create 3 good chances, 4 good chances, or typically in the second half, when we start doing things, they should be done a million times a game. Again, we're nowhere near City, but anyone that watched City versus Watford, how many times did City create those clear cut chances? How many did Grealish kind of have? When I say clear cut, I'm exaggerating a bit, but yeah, he showed leadership on occasion. I look at Spurs, I look at Norwich, but for me, it's just you've not been good enough. It's not been consistent. And again, against Watford, you had to try really hard to stink up the place. United stinking up the place. I feel 13 minutes you're pressing well, but stinking up the place. Newcastle stinking up the place with that good chance. You got to keep it drilled. Nothing personal. I don't know why in current days football, there's no balance. If you either got an agenda or you've turned on a player or just some mad conclusion is just being drawn. You don't like Aubameyang anymore. I will always be a fan of the guy. I hope he gets back to form, but I'm a fan of my football club. So why can't you just say, man, need to get dropped? It's like with Tini. Someone even commented on my YouTube, you turned on Tini. Who is waffling about Tini? Hang on a minute. It's still Tini FC, but Arsenal first. Like, if Tini or whoever isn't the better option or they don't look like the better option, what do you want to do? Do you want a result or not? Like, this ain't Sunday League. If people want Sunday League where everyone needs to get a game and all of these sort of things, then Premier League football ain't for you. That's just me, innit? Anyways, but I don't know anything. Like, it is what it is. What did you say to do anyways? You said Greenhill's Twitter account. I wouldn't blame the money. I just think you're regressing. The team, you're regressing. I just think Aubameyang is regressing as a footballer. On the best of days, we didn't create for this man. He's regressing as a footballer. He's in terrible form. Highlighted by the lack of chances, the lack of goals being spread out, equals bench. I don't think it's about the money because he's always been, he's always earned money. I don't think it's a money thing or the mentality. You're just dropping off and things are probably comfortable at this football club, people. Some random statistics just because I'm on Obino's Twitter account. Shout out G1 for that suggestion. If we just scroll down and look at some random things, people. Arsenal have lost 3 and won just one of their last 5 Premier League meetings with Everton. So the form kind of goes out the window there. Points against last season. Well, sorry, people, I'm just clicking stuff. Points against last season's top 4 so far, people. And again, you can see it for yourself. Brazy. Arsenal grand total of 0. Commiserations to Arsenal's women who lost the FA Cup final. Aubameyang's minutes per goals. Seems like, just by looking at them, I'm trying to formulate all my opinions. It's like they've gone up, then there's been a peak.
And then, yeah, it's been highlighted even more. Like I said, you've tried even worse. And I think this could be found with our lack of real creativity. And to be fair, big up Una Emre. But this was when there was a lack of creativity anyways. Because if you remember, we were second half FC them time there. You know, we're relying on Aubameyang and Lacazette to do their nonsense against Cardiff. And people proclaim, you know, another false image of a run, really and truly. You know, Aubameyang, first 30 Premier League games, 20 goals. Second 30 Premier League games, 20 goals as well. After he got his, you know, basically 90 Premier League games, you know, after his third 30 Premier League games, 15, and his last 37's 13. So again, he's not a player we can rely on anymore. He's lost his powers, and at least at this moment in time. Only United against Newcastle has seen a team score more goals against one single opponent than Arsenal versus Everton in Premier League history with 111. Interesting, man. Leonard, and again, for a team that, again, kind of going back to Tino's point, for a team that waffles about improving defensively, and we have, you know, again, we've still got a long way to go because Leno and Ramsdale, between them, have made 51 saves this season. That's more than any other team's goalkeeper in the Premier League. So again, we're still opening our midfield up and allowing shots on target, people. And again, a lack of creativity also highlighted with Aubameyang and Cole just bottling it in front of goal. Only Wolves and Norwich have converted a lower percentage of their big chances in goals than Arsenal. Now, again, that's nothing. You know, we got 29%. Norwich have 23 and Wolves have 25. Now, for Wolves, they've had Jimenez injured for a significant period of time. And obviously, I'll give them that luxury. Norwich, is the standard of player isn't good enough. We're poor. Look how far we're below on the Premier League average. Again, you can just look at these things. It's not sustainable. If you're not scoring goals and you're allowing a lot of shots on target and you're not really that great of a defensive team, then you're not going to end up in the positions you want to, really and truly, you know. But we hope Aubameyang can return back into goal-scoring ways because he has 4 goals in his 5 Premier League appearances against Everton, including on his debut. We love scoring from corners. To be fair, there's been an improvement there. Right, Martinelli has the same number of goal involvements this season as Buendia, De Bruyne, and Harry Kane. De Bruyne, Buendia obviously got one today, so that one there has changed. But yeah, man, I'm getting too excited with these statistics. Love G1 for that shout. That's a nice little compliment to this, and I think with that we can probably just humbly extend the press conference timestamp. So there's that. Oba is a done guy, will never come back. It's just down to him to prove you wrong. I don't think it's Oba's fault entirely that we're not scoring that many goals as a team. Look at Chelsea, them man score with their defenders. That's true, but that's also a problem for them. You know, it's not sustainable with their thing. But that's the issue, you know. Again, I've always said it's a miracle and how it's been sustainable for Aubameyang to score goals. Because since the man signed it, we ain't been creating chances. It's been steadily declining. But the problem is the one thing he's paid to do is score goals. And for me, you know, he's not scoring goals. Like you said, you know, like you said, you know, again, it's not entirely his fault. But at the same time, if he's not scoring, speaking of scoring goals, Ollie Watkins did terrible there. But speaking of scoring goals, if you're not doing that, then why are you in the team? You might as well give someone else a go. And for me, at their worst, Aubameyang is a worse player than Lacazette because Lacazette can do the general play. So you might as well just include him. It's very sad, but what's more sad is Arsenal not being in Europe. And like I said, the gloves are off. We ain't, you know, we hope we get him back, give him all the tools, try as hard as we can. But right now, he needs to come out. You know, I hope to God, if what I don't want to happen, if he plays against Everton, he scores and he does his thing. But we've been here last season, we've been here this season, and you're going to be here again. Time waits for no one. And what concern, right? Villa scored again. Kasper Schmeichel conceded some calamities. What concerns me is when Aubameyang signed that 3-year contract, in that first year of that new deal, the summer he signed that deal, we should have known the strikers that we're looking to bring in. And in the ideal world, every year you kind of diminished his influence. You know, in this, we need a functional unit that will be without him. I can't really say. I think you obviously you sign a striker that's going to score goals. I think we're going to score goals, but I can't convincingly say a striker is going to score goals in this team because, again, like you said, as much as I feel Aubameyang's been poor, we're not creating any chances. Aubameyang's problem is the little chances you're being given, you're not taking it. But we're not creating. There's very clear-cut chances. It's not sustainable. A lot of things that we're doing is not sustainable. And again, we're a new side, we're learning, we're all of that sort of stuff. But again, if we're learning, we have to talk about what we need to do better. That shouldn't be seen as a negative. Tierney was a massive part of our creativity last season. Maybe him not being in the side is why we aren't creating so much. And again, that's so it's true, but that highlights our problem. We're very left-hand centric. You know, Tavares, very, dangerous weapon down the left. Tierney down the left. You know, Saka's been there at a time and whatnot. So I agree with you, but I don't quite think it's that. And if it is that, that highlights the problem because it makes you predictable. You know, teams know you lock down Arsenal's left-hand side, you're not going to get too much change. Good game, man. You know, it's going slower than it looks. He's tried playing Aubameyang back into form when he signed a new contract. So let's try dropping him and see how he reacts. And again, who knows? He might come off the bench against Everton, still the winner, and that's how he gets going. It's very sad. Time to put you on the spot. Does another manager get more out of these players? Potentially a more experienced manager, a more competent manager. Get, like, I'm not saying I'm not going to be that guy, but if Ralph Rangnick was here, I think you'd see a better press. Why? Because he's got a CV of being a good pressing coach. I think a more competent manager gets a slight, for as poor as these forms are, gets more of a tune out. I do think, all right, cool. Aubameyang might not be scoring, but you might get a bit more of a change out of Saka, out of Smith Rowe, out of all these guys, if that makes sense. With Aubameyang, it's just that when he's not scoring, he virtually has no impact on games, has to sit down. Exactly. Not going to lie, I would have liked to sign Cash. I don't really rate Cash still, so I have to pass on that. Crazy stat I saw on Twitter. Outside of Liverpool, Aubameyang has the highest XG in the league. No idea what this means, but yeah, boy. You're paid. You paid for his goals and leadership, and he's given neither at the minute. Well, I mean, Arteta's still talking about leadership, but for me, leadership is leading from the front. I don't think he's doing that. So he has to just hold his licks, in it. Still not at 100 likes. We're at 88, folks. As I said, 6:30. Apologies, I'm lying to you lot. Don't forget, I'm going to be live with Mo. So yeah, one love to you lot. And I mean, I think we've been linked with Dennis Zakaria as well. So I think we can look at that. Let's delete that. Sorry, folks. I've got a whole lot of links here. What's this? I can click on that. Google Translate. Is it going to bust me? Then I mean, the same old recycle Zakaria one. I mean, on a free transfer, I wouldn't mind it. I don't rate him as highly as I used to. I think his ball control and all-around aspects of the game have improved, but I just think he's stagnated a bit. Allegedly, though, people, this article has linked us with him. You know, he's always been linked with us, Spurs, Roma, United. He's linked with everyone, even Bayern Munich. Apparently, Borussia Mönchengladbach has probably lost the fight for Dennis Zakaria for good. The question now arises whether the Swiss can be given up in the winter in order to collect at least a small fee 6 months before the end of the contract. Zakaria, meanwhile, has to decide, which club he wants to play for in the future. The list of interested parties is long. I mean, interest and actual offers are two different things. Everybody's interested in stuff. As you lot know, you lot always, anyway, who's ever tried to organize something with a group of people, everybody's on it. It's time to put finances down or really put things into place. There's and ahhing. Everybody's interested in everyone. Whether any of these clubs want to commit to signing him is another thing. But, just by looking at the list, he has got a list of great clubs. You've got Juventus, Inter Milan, Roma, Barcelona, Dortmund. And as I said, United, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, more or less any top 6, top 8 teams been linked with him. The 25-year-old, apparently his dream goal is to be in the Premier League. And apparently there were loose contacts with Man United and City rival City. Arsenal is closer to Zakaria. According to FT information, the Gunners are in contact with the advisors of the dynamic midfielder. Arsenal sense a free transfer for next season. Whether the North Londoners have a chance of winning will largely depend on whether they qualify for the international competition. So I assume that means Europe. And I mean, who knows? A fellow Swiss midfielder who played for Gladbach could be helping another one. So on that, I don't know if there's any truth to that, people, but it is what it is, and it'll be interesting. I wouldn't be against Zakaria, but we're gonna sign we're gonna sign any more adventurous midfielders, more number 8s, people who can hold on to a ball and relieve pressure on us and things like that. I don't know, man. I like the steel and thunder we're looking to install into the club, but we can't create chances, and we're going to sign more players who can't necessarily create chances. Obviously, depth and things like that are vital things, especially with El Nene going to have Lokonga, Partey, and obviously assuming Zakaria within the squad to choose from would give us a lot of options, people, really and truly. If not, then it is what it is. What's this? It's all of these links. Sorry, people trying to see if there's anything else of note. We're still being linked with Vlahovic, but as you lot know, that's some BS. We ain't grabbing him. Hope we could be wrong though. You know, it'd be nice if Arsenal surprised us. You know, big up Saka. He's living the dream, man. He might not have been winning anything at Arsenal right now, but you know, if Ronaldinho and Rivaldo rate you as well as Ruud Gullit, you know you're a baller, people. You know, Ruud Gullit also had him among the votes as well. Apparently, Ronaldinho and Rivaldo's verdict on Bukayo Saka speaks volumes. You know, they both included the Arsenal youngster in their top 3 for this year's Cooper Award, people. It's brazy. It's brazy, you know. We'll take that. Game ballers recognize ballers. Game recognizes game, people. And as you can see, Samba ting, Brazil ting. You'll remember how, pardon my language, fucked of a footballer Rivaldo was with that wonder of a left foot. Ronaldinho's the best player ever. One love to you, Messi. You know, Messi's the best ever, but no one's better than Ronaldinho. Again, it doesn't make sense, but if you understand what I'm getting at, you'll understand what I'm getting at. So yeah, that's good for him. I'm so sure Ruud Gullit also voted for Saka as well. Which is brazy. And if we look here, people, well, interested to see how the votes for the Cooper Trophy played out. Ruth Gullit, on the other hand, picked Saka as number 1. Let's see who all the ballers picked, people. Van Basten picked Pedri, Bellingham, Gravenberch. Zidane picked Pedri, Greenwood, Mendes. All right, maybe he could go United. Shevchenko picked Pedri, Bellingham, Musiala. Modric picked Greenwood, Pedri, Bellingham. Messi picked Pedri, Mendes, Bellingham. Fuck, you know. Ronaldinho, you get me? Pedri, Mendes, Saka. Rivaldo, Saka as well. Wirtz, German bias there. All the German man had to include Wirtz. Man, Ronaldo said Reina. Slag cap. Big up him for saying Greenwood. Obviously, he's looking after his Portuguese brother in Mendes. Baggio said Doku. Aye, big up my guy. He also said Saka. Look at the ballers. Imagine, just for any of these players, if these ballers are rating you, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Top, ridiculous, man. Apparently, Rafa Benitez said, keep faith in me like Arsenal backed Mikel Arteta pleads Rafa Benitez. Under pressure, Everton manager Rafa Benitez believes the experience of Monday's opposite number, Mikel Arteta, is a lesson his club should heed. Not really the best of example. He said, I think he is doing well and could be an example of a new manager at a new club under pressure from the beginning of last year, from the beginning of this season. Little by little, he has continued working the way he wants to work, and the team is getting better. They've also spent some money. They did well as they've signed some good players. He is an example of a manager at a new club who needed time, and everyone was talking about we need to give him time, and now he's collecting the prize. I think you're jumping the gun a bit. On Dominic Calvert-Lewin, people said, I was talking with the physio and the fitness coach, and he's getting better, but still a couple of weeks minimum. We have to be very careful with him as he's had 2 injuries, so we want to be sure he is getting stronger and well, and now is the time to progress, and he's doing really well. So that's that. Don't know if that's the best of examples, Rafa Benitez, but fair play. If that's what you want to, if that's the hill you want to die on, I respect it. Fair play. Free transfer to Arsenal. Timestamp's done. Evening. SCA on a pre-transfer is a no-brainer, and we should try to move for Alba, and Jan would love it. Watkins is looking good, to be fair. I'd rather him than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Swing me Renato and Alba. Hear it. Smith Rowe needs to hold the bench on Monday as well. Disagree. Wirtz might be up next. Wirtz is messed, man. And you know, Wirtz, Musiala. There's a next young German one, that Ibrahimovic guy. Well, no, he's not German, but he's a German talent. Germany have a number of good young players coming through. Musiala, you know, obviously they've technically got Havertz. Their generation could be messed, man. Wirtz and Musiala could do a oh my God. Sorry, people. I shouldn't be screaming, but Maddison almost scored a weldy with his left peg. What's your prediction? 2-1 Arsenal. But I think it's going to be tricky. Very, very tricky. Adeyemi, bring that. But again, I don't know what's gonna happen. Right, Jamie Vardy on, look coming on. Right, bit silly not to start Vardy now, isn't it? 98 likes, people. Come on, you lot are acting. You lot are actually acting. I mean, and like I said, people, make sure you set your reminders for tomorrow. Also, make sure you're heading over to Twitch for 6:30 because I'm gonna have more on. Don't seem like there's anything else to go on. No, there's nothing Arsenal related. Nothing Arsenal related out there today, folks. Quite dead. We've covered it. We've been linked with Renato Sanchez again, people. If that's something you're into hearing about. Jack Wilshere to Wrexham could be a thing, wrong. Brazy. Very, very brazy. Do you think we should have gone for Maddison or think we made the right decision? I would have loved Maddison, but I can't. Listen, 70 million. I don't think the club was going to fork that in it, and it probably is excessive. But I wanted Maddison. I was one of them weird people. I actually feel, as I said, Odegaard got a bad rep, and I know it didn't feel like a new signing because he had an underwhelming first 6 months. But I was happy with Odegaard. I think he's a bit of a misunderstood genius. Big praise, probably over the top with that phrase. But I just think Maddison's got that X factor. Yeah, it would have showed a lot of intent for me because you would want to go and get a player that doesn't want to be sold. I think the one thing that separates Odegaard and Maddison, I'm not saying Odegaard don't believe in himself, but Maddison's got that swagger, that jack, the lad that I don't like to be all talking about this, but I just feel obviously reality is we're in England, innit? Like the Premier League, you gotta believe in yourself and things. I don't think Odegaard's against it. I do think, because he's blonde hair, blue eyes, he's a pretty boy. He's actually down for the ugly bits of the game, but I just feel Maddison's got that swagger. He believes in himself. He's got that positive chip on his shoulder, really and truly. That's what I think we need, man. We don't have that good arrogance. Big save by Kasper Schmeichel. We ain't got too many players who are arrogant. The healthy sort of arrogance, man. Obviously I would like people to be that Henry or Mayweather arrogance, but you need to first of all have their talent and have their discipline. You can be as arrogant as you want when you do that. Unpopular opinion, Xhaka and Partey make each other look better and control the game more than what we're seeing right now. Probably, but it's hit and miss. And for me, fundamentally, none of these midfield, it is what it is until new people come in, obviously. But for me, none of these midfield partnerships that we can throw together are 30. Because nobody can sit here and say, what one would you be comfortable with to run for 38 games if they're all fit, suspensions weren't a thing? To think Odegaard is a captain for Norway, he strikes me as an introvert rather than an extrovert. To be fair, you could be a captain being an introvert, but I just feel in England you need to be the different source. And that's probably why. We live in a country where just running around for the sake of running around is showing you care rather than a waste of energy. You could actually not care, but because you can have a bad attitude, but because you run around, they say you're about it. But because you just walk, as the see Ozil and Martial suffer from the cultural things that they say, it's a tired one. If we lose tomorrow, do you think we'll release another kit? Well, apparently we get bringing out a pink one soon and some other thing coming out. Odegaard's bare self. Margaard will come good, man. Spoiled that Maddison goal for me. It didn't go in, bro. My guy Luke Thomas is playing as well. Like the look of that left back. I can't lie. I think he's the half decent for Leicester. Not that we need a left back at this current moment. Amount of times we lost last season, I swear we had one every week. Boy, all in a day of life of a Gooner, man. Hopefully tomorrow is beneficial for us, man. We need 3 points. It's not going to be easy, man. At all. No. I hope I'm overrating Everton and stuff, but we need to stand up to be counted, man. If you can't get a half decent result against a wounded Everton side, there's problems really and truly. I don't know how you do it. Quite frankly, I don't care how you do it. Just walk away with the 3 points, man. What else is going on? What else is going on? You know, for those of you, let me get some headlines up for you guys, people. There's that. There's that. There's that. And I mean, the first one is someone I just because, you know, there's nothing else to really talk about. I haven't got much time for this guy. I'm going to call him PM because I think he's a bit of a prick, but pardon my French. Are we Tottenham in disguise? PM insists Arsenal finishing 5th would be deemed as failure. Of course, anytime Arsenal are not winning trophies, major trophies, pushing for major places and doing major things, of course it's a failure. But if we're honest with ourselves, if we look at where Arsenal are at, if we look at all of the failures we've been collectively making for years and now we're trying to claw it back, you know, 5th would be, I won't say it's a success, but we'll bite your arm off to finish it. If the season could finish now where Arsenal are at in 5th, I want top 4, but all fans would take it in it. So I'm not too sure what he's talking about there. But yeah, man, he's chatting pop. But moving away from that again. Apparently, Aaron Ramsey's agent is working on a January transfer amid interest from Newcastle. Apparently, Juventus are willing to sell the Welshman for a minimal fee, people, and he's trying to arrange something. But again, Ramsey earns 400k a week, so I don't know who's going to take him on. You know, he's been linked with Newcastle. I don't know if they're going to do all of that. Boy. You know, hopefully nothing serious with Ian Wright there. Family bereavements happen. That's quite unfortunate to hear. And then obviously on that, again, something you all might want to hear. Arsenal revived Jonathan David transfer interest by scouting Lille's sensation as part of a double transfer swoop. Let me guess, Renato Sanchez is going to be the next name. The Gunners could see 2 or more first-team strikers next summer. Apparently, David has expressed a desire to play in England. You know, we're going to have a look at Darwin Núñez. But apparently, you know, this one has said Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They're saying £60 million. I don't know if £60 million for him or 40 for Darwin Núñez is the better offer. I know nothing about football, people, but it could be something to consider. Well, who knows, man? Who knows? That's the timestamps. Again, you lot will not find a YouTuber who cares about you lot as much as me, man. You won't. You can try, but you won't. Probably going to have to take Dominic Calvert-Lewin out the thumbnail. I thought he would be fit, people. But yeah, in 24 hours, you know, more or less, I'm going to be doing a watch along. So make sure you're here for that one. Set your reminders, hit the like button. One love to the 5 people, including myself, who have done such already. English tax is crazy. Trust me. The amount of Arsenal fans that are now bashing the team for being 7th without us playing yet, I don't know if they're expecting us to be 10% clear the top 4. They're not, and the table's going to fluctuate. What we can't do is just keep dropping points. Concerning that Saka and Martinelli are going to have 2 years left in the summer, renewals have to be done ASAP during that period. I think Saka has an option on his deal, but nonetheless, I wholeheartedly agree. I can't even watch games no more. I just know the club ain't serious with Arteta there. That's harsh. Everton have not won in 8 exactly, something that can't be allowed tomorrow. Although Partey is in bad form, he should start today. Tomorrow, you mean, but I get the point. Your squad needs another 150 million plus any player sales to have a very good chance at top 4. Facts. But yeah. Score prediction for this one. When you say what, Everton Arsenal or Villa Leicester, if it's Everton Arsenal, I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal. People just now clocked up. Team isn't that good. Do you know what it is? Because fans like euphoria. I don't think our team is bad. I just don't think it's amazing. Like, I don't think if you was to make a Premier League, like the strongest Premier League 11 side, there's not too many players that could make that squad. I think Saka could make the squad. I think an on-form Tierney could. You know, obviously, you know, I think Gabriel can make the squad and be on the bench. There's too many techie centre-halves for him to start. But apart from that, you know, Smith Rowe on current form, there's not too many players that step up into that. You know, we used to have players that were kind of the envy, even though we weren't doing them as, and I feel, you know, I'm not saying these players are quality, but if you was a fan of a rival team, you'd probably rate, I would say, you know, you'd probably have admiration for what Tomiyasu's done. You think he's okay, but, you know, Saka, Smith Rowe, Who else really, man? Everton haven't won in 8. United didn't get a win at home since September. Exactly, these things have to change. I mean, Martinez, acrobatics, needs to try out for the Argentina gymnastics Olympics team when trials come up because, you know, springed up. This is quite a good game for the neutrals people. Harvey Barnes must have thought he scored. Good save by Martinez. And he probably only made that save because, as he said, Arsenal never gave him a chance that he deserved. Villa are doing a madness under Gerrard. Trust. You just need. Sometimes you just need different ideas, man. It's funny how football works, man. As I said, make sure you're following on Twitch, people, because I'm going to have Mo at 6:30, folks, where obviously I'm going to ask him about Aubameyang, Odegaard, United, and so on and so forth, a bag of things. Because I'm so nice, I put the link in here for you guys. Wish we could get a striker like Hallier, proper goal scorer. I don't know. I think Hallier is one of them things. He just looks. He's not going to be a hitter in the Premier League, but he's going to show it elsewhere. He showed it in Germany. He's been doing his thing at Ajax, especially in the Champions League. I read somewhere Saka earns 30k per week. Arsenal needs to fix that FQ. Yeah, at the time he was signing, he did. You know, and he's already, since signing that contract, he's got better and better. He's started to play for England and all of those sort of things. I just had an article about them wages as well. Thought I just saw that. You know, not that I advocate pocket watching people. You know, I don't really care what our next man is getting paid, especially these footballers. If anyone deserves it, I know some footballers might be on inflated wages. You know, none of these footballers will be in this position to earn the money they earn if the clubs weren't earning pounds on these pennies. Who is going to give Ozil, for example, 300k a week? Oh, Ashley Young and Desbury Hall getting into it. Yeah. Right, Ashley Young's live off saying F you. Crada. Handbags out. Vardy blessing it. Handbags. This game's lit. Oh, pen. Douglas Costa, you're gone. It's a pen. You're gone. Douglas Costa, that's a pen. You fucked it for your team. He's trodden him after. Oh, that angle makes it look booky. But yeah, not that I'm a pocket watcher, but if you look at the wages being earned, you know, yearly salary, Aubameyang 13 million. And I think, obviously, respectfully, Partey, when he came in, is going to be on that. Lacazette the same and Aubameyang the same. I think it tells you everything. You know, you look at, I'm not talking about what a next man's earning and things. Again, you know, I'm not talking about what a next man's earning. But our top highest earners, you look at 4 of the 5. Who's really justified it? Obviously, Aubameyang, excluding this season and last, he's earned it because he's been doing his thing. Partey's came in, but no one really is doing much. You know, Pepe, you know, jury's still out on Ben White. He's doing all right. Kolasinac played a blinder when he signed for free with us. Bloody hell, look what he's on. You know, again, Marie for his 85k, 85,000 a week and his 4 million a year salary. Shout out to him at 28. He's doing well, but. You know, we got him. We paid a loan fee. We could pay the permanent fee. How much games has he played? How much games has he played well? And, you know, I'm not trying to scapegoat the man, but how many times has he struggled? And how many times has he made mistakes that cost us? So, I don't know, man. And again, when you do these things, this is why it's not just the big money signings. We can't move on Lacazette for a variety of reasons, not to scapegoat him. The same goes for Pepe, not to scapegoat him. The same goes for Kolasinac. You know, Xhaka has signed a new deal, so that makes sense. Respectfully, Cedric Suarez, you know, look at these guys. They're earning more than some of the players that are regulars. And I know a number of these young players are young and they're starting out, but this tells you everything and it highlights mismanagement, really and truly. You know, Gabriel, to be fair with you, you know, you look at a couple of these names, Gabriel, Saka, Martinelli, provided they're still at the club and doing well, these guys will sign new and improved deals, and you'll see a lot of this change, really. But you know, and the thing about me, when you look at the first 4 names, none of these guys are performing right now. I'm not talking about an next man's money and stuff, but we need our players for the present. You know, Pepe's 26. Fair enough, you're here in 4 years, you'll still only be 30. You know, Partey's only 28, but you lot are here for the present, and we're not getting much bang for our buck. We still ain't seen 20 league goals from Lacazette. You know, did we really buy him to work hard and them thing there? I love Lacazette, but You know, let's be real, we overcompensate. He does bring a lot to the team, but we overcompensate because we didn't get the Lacazette we thought he was getting. Aubameyang's gone missing, and hindsight's always a wonderful thing. But there's that option. Partey, I think he's been good. I think he's doing his thing, but you know, not too many people unanimously agree with that. And he hasn't. I'm not saying he's set the world alight, which isn't the case. Tierney, calm. Kolasinac, robberies. You know, agents are playing blinders. You know, El Nene, don't know why Wenger gave him that deal. Ainsley, calm. Is it just me or it feels like a couple of players are missing out? And I know Arsenal are a bit funny with how they do their wages, but boy, like, you know, Nuno's just come in, but boy, 30 and 20K for Smith Rowe. That's got to change. You know, Eddie's earning more. You know, I swear Saka and Eddie got the same agent as well. I don't know why Balogun's not there, but yeah. Is what it is in that regard. And I swear that thing didn't even just say. I just clocked. Did we even see Ramsdale's name there? That's why I was like, I swear names are missing. Ramsdale's not there. Is there a next site? Oh, well. Yeah, Bearman's name's not there, innit? But I've clicked on another article. Again, you have to take a pinch of this with salt. I don't know who's earning what and whatnot, but you know, Ramsdale, 63K. To be fair, he's come into that being in the England squad and stuff. Him and Ben White were not gonna get the cheapest of wages, but you know, considering their ages, they'll probably, they've been all right. And obviously, this is where you're looking at Richard Garlick and all these contract people to right the wrongs, because you know, our talent ID's been wrong. Respectfully, somebody has to have said sign Kolasinac, sign Marie, sign Cedric, sign players who I haven't said. Someone's got to negotiate these things, you know. Respectfully, these players never put a gun to anyone's head, you know. They got their agents played blinders, as low profile said. So again, you're hoping Garlic can rewrite these wrongs in the same way you're looking at Edu to help us on the technical front. And Arteta, it goes without saying, with the footballers playing. So it is what it is. You know, no one's, you know, but like I said, crucially, these are your top 5 earners, bro. You know, you look at your top 5 earners, you know, there's a lot of question marks over all of them. Leno, fair enough, he's been the number 1 goalie and he's an international, but Leno, Pepe, Partey, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Xhaka, Kolasinac, you know, your top 10, in fact, really and truly. Sambi's coming on 53, fair play. You know, Gabriel probably needs a rework. Saka and Balogun, that can't be right. You know, Balogun's played a blinder if he's on 32 bags already, you know. He's on 32 bags already. Shout out to Balogun, but boy. So yeah, that's that, innit? Not that it matters what people get made, because as I said, these footballers are not going to get that if the clubs aren't generating a lot more than such. Is what it is where that's concerned, though, folks, man. It is what it is. As I said, people, love for hitting the like button. As I said, you know, at 6:30, I'm going to be live on Twitch with Mo, where we'll continue the Arsenal chat and things. So, yeah, I'm going to get out of here just to give you lot some time to obviously be there, people. So, on that note, please make sure you've hit the like button. Please make sure you're subscribing. Again, when this stream ends, it's going to take you to the watch along for tomorrow. Make sure you've set your reminders and hit the like button on such, people. Most importantly, stay safe and make sure you're preparing for a fantastic weekend. I mean, even man said afternoon. This is how you know I'm tired. Week. DG, would finishing 5th place be a failure? I saw a man arguing about it on Twitter. No. Well, it's not nothing to scream and shout about, but I'm not be funny. We finished 8th. We ain't got no Europe. It'd be nice to get into Europe. Is it something we should aspire to? Should we have higher ambitions? Of course. But yeah, man, where we are right now as a club, where we can't really say what we're getting in 10 games, 5 games, even game to game. You can't really say anything different, you know. Again, not many aspirations for this, but We all have higher aspirations, but it is what it is. On that topic, though, as I said, stay in good health. As I was trying to say as well before I messed it up, I hope you're all preparing and have a good week next week. If you want more Arsenal chat, join me at 6:30 on Twitch with Mo. If not, I'll see you lot tomorrow, people. But stay safe. Over and out, people, man. Where's the outro? Because I know you lot love it.
You always use that active red light defending. I think it's like